Hey, it's Simetti like spaghetti, and welcome to our treehouse build. So I'm building at Hedford. I forgot the name, but it's the world that came with the Cottage Living expansion pack. I'm at Cordelia's Secret Cottage because I wanted this treehouse to be in more of like a foresty area. So I got the big tree stump from the werewolf debug options on the show live edit objects. I wouldn't say cheat, just the vault of awesomeness. Let's call it that because you get so many amazing items through that. Show live edit objects. So you're seeing the foundation was the hardest part because it's like, how do I get this structure up here? I haven't really built a treehouse before. I got inspired by a couple other simmers I saw. So this is like a multi-level treehouse. There's like the entryway, which is going to be there's going to be a tree sticking through the foundation because I used to do that a lot in my previous builds. And the treehouse itself is modeled like a loft in a way where you're going to have the bedroom oversee the main living area and dining room. As well as there will be a porch with water. It turned out very nice. So yes, you see I'm making these the octagon, that's an octagon. A little entry so like the tree can come through. So it's like, oh, the tree's supporting this floating platform. Just trying to make it as quote unquote realistic as possible for Sims builds. So now that we got the foundation, the different leveling, we had to make sure it was like perfectly aligned, otherwise it wouldn't work. We're going to traverse into just decorating the exterior as well as adding that water feature. I just imagine this tree like got knocked down years ago and whoever lived here was like, oh, I can live on top of this big tree stump. Like, I thought it would be cool to at least try doing something like an unconventional build. It's like, hey, it's a tree house, not like just a regular house. Yes, and I also, as you notice on the right hand corner, I use the lighting. That's from Cottage Living Debug, where you can put these lights into trees and it's going to be so pretty at night. All right, we are building our pond, our river area. I imagine the sim having like kind of wanting to fish and being kind of outdoorsy, eclectic, but like living high end in the forest. I don't know if that's possible, but yes. Just trying to figure out where do I want this to end, how much water I want, just like all those decisions you figure out. I kind of figure stuff out as I go. And that's just my building style. The fun part, which is decorating. I didn't do as much landscaping as I normally do in this build because I wanted it to be very simplistic. Yes, I changed that tree out a couple times just to kind of add that color. I love this. I think it's a cherry blossom tree. I don't know what pack it's from, but it's adding it. We're adding clutter. So I was looking for like a fence. And that's when I found this. That's what gave me the inspiration. So I wasn't normally gonna plan a dock at first. I was just gonna plan like an outdoor area, but I had seen online that someone had put, like you can walk on that, but I just figured I'll just make my own that is the same shape as this. And then I added the debug option later that looked like it was like trailing off into the water. So yeah, you can enter this house from like two different points. Like you can enter from the front entrance, which is by the cherry blossom, or you could come in from the side on the porch area. So there's like two different ways you could walk around. So I didn't limit it with a lot of fencing because at the time I didn't know how the Sims would traverse around, but it has been play tested and everything works as it's already been uploaded to the gallery. So if you like this build at the end, it is live right now under Simetti _13 on the gallery, or you can do the hashtag Simetti. It should pop up. Yes, here's where I start messing with the loft idea, because I've seen people do different platforming where they built it using the slab where you can walk underneath, but it wasn't working out for me. So I was like, you know what, let's just build 2 stories and we'll go from there. Just took me a while. I did make a couple like mistakes as I was building like the platform leading up to the second floor. So there's a lot of, I edited quite a bit out. And after filming, full disclaimer, I did have to move the staircase because it was not, my sim was not able to walk up like that. So it's different. The video is a tiny bit different than the actual finished product on the gallery. It's just, I had to fix that so it was playable. But it turns out like really fun place to live in. I moved the sim in there with a dog, and the dog can get everywhere because I didn't use any ladders. And also, just like one thing I totally forget when I build is like, oh wait, if they have a ladder, they can't carry the trash outside. So that was kind of the whole point. I was like, my sim needs to get some trash outside. But yes, this house is made for like, I was thinking a sim who loves the outdoors, but they still like are an interior designer with like the dream home pack. I use that quite a bit in this build. A lot of neutral tones like the white, the gray. I'm just checking to make sure everything's checked out. I had to redo the wallpaper at least 500 times. I haven't quite figured out that part yet. And now the bedroom. So I wanted it to be cozy and like kind of small. It doesn't follow any tiny home parameters. I would call this more of like a small home. Nowhere like a miniature meatball thing. I was trying to build another story, but I realized since I already used 2 floors to get the you'll see in the gallery view, it'll show 2 pictures of the tree stump because I had to use 2 rooms to get that 3rd room on top. It was fun figuring this out, trying to make it as jam-packed as possible, as livable as possible, and still like not obviously that I used a lot of edits. Alright, so we're making the entertainment / loft area. Since downstairs it is kind of an awkward space. I ended up discovering as I was building. So like the main entertainment area is actually upstairs, but that's why we have a couch. It's not like, you don't want your sim to invite people like, hey, come chill in my bed to watch TV. Like, this isn't Netflix and chill. It's like, hey, I want to show you a documentary. Very innocent area. That plant, the hanging plant, so I don't normally buy kits. I really don't, because money, and those are usually, up until this the past couple kits, I felt like the items were already, you can kind of move around them. However, I don't know what it's called, but it's the plant kit. Oh my gosh, ever since I bought that, I have used, so like I've used that hanging plant in every build. It's just so pretty. It reminds me more of the stuff I kind of have in my own home. So it's kind of nice to see that style in gameplay mode. This turns out to be like a custom bookshelf. I love these little stackable books. I think they add more fun because I don't really, at least in my home, I don't really have like bookshelves. I have shelves I put books on and try to make the best of it. Have to add a fence. Whenever I do a platform, I add a fence. Even though like I've seen homes in real life where it's just like, oh, there's a ledge there. But I can luckily Sims can't just fall due to gravity. I guess they defy gravity. They're cool. So yeah, this whole little space I had to kind of change. Basically in the final build, that staircase just faces the door and then everything moves over one. So then you have a cute little sitting area. I'm just using a lot of the home decor from that game pack, because I wanted my sim to be like a home designer, because I haven't played with that as nearly as much when it first came out. I used to be like, oh, all my sims have to be interior decorators, and it didn't work. So now I was like, I want to revisit that and envision someone living here who's has to be somewhat artsy, because it's like, who else would live in a tree besides squirrels? Or like a paranoid person from like the Strangerville thing. Interesting build idea. You might see a paranoid. That'd be cool. Alright, now we're doing my favorite part of the builds. I love building kitchens. That's one of my favorite things to do. Um, I don't know why. I just think the kitchen is a focal point mostly, and a lot of everyday interactions happen in the kitchen. At least, like I said, at least like the ones I'm used to seeing, like my own home, like the kitchen is right when you walk in, so it's like, okay, it's a focal point, so you got to make it look nice. I'm playing with the platforming tool again. Not surprising at all. I was playing with the dining room because I was like, well, I didn't like that it was against the wall, but then I figured it out to where um, that dining room moves again into the secluded area because I was almost going to make that the living space, but with this build, I was like, I think she or he, whoever prefers, anyone who prefers to live here would want more of an entertaining area. So I made a little bar area for you to sit, for the sim to sit, and I put the TV, like, I believe there's a TV in the kitchen. So, like, you can watch TV while you're drinking your coffee. Like, I thought that would be cool. The rugs are always so fun. I've always been torn about rugs in kitchens because realistically, if anything spills on that, it's a hindrance, but it needs something in there. And here comes the fun part. So I did the debug. I did show hidden objects in a minute. Oh, when I build, I just move all over the place. So I found these walls once again from the Cottage Living. Cottage Living gave us a lot. It really did. It's a masterpiece of a pack. I've used it so much since it came out. So I'm using these like rundown brick walls that like suggest, hey, this was something like before that the tree fell. Like, just kind of wanted to play up that this is a rundown place that was converted into a nice little home. So yeah, I completely bailed on the kitchen, went outside for a little bit, and then I came back. So I'm like, oh yeah, bathroom. I totally forgot I have to do one of those. Speaking of another thing I'm obsessed with, the mirror from Werewolves. It's just so pretty. I love it. The only like thing I would say would be nice if the shelves were empty and we could customize it. Alright, so of course we're back in the kitchen. I'm cluttering it up, adding some items on those makeshift shelves. And we should be wrapping up this build. Like I said previously, it's live on the Sims Gallery. Look up Simetti_13. And this has been play tested, the version on the gallery, so it will be completely fine for your sim. I hope you enjoy, and be sure to